Hi, this is Trey Passer, and this is my movie review of the Bourne Legacy. There's my ticket. I went to see it this morning. Let's see. I think you can. Oh, oops. Hold on. Let's see. Bourne. There we go. I think that's it. There it is. Bourne Legacy. I went to see it today. I meant to see it last week, but I got distracted by other things. Okay, but I went to see it today, and this review is going to have spoilers in it. To say I was disappointed was I was disappointed in this movie. Like I said, this movie stars Jeremy Renner, Scott Glenn, Stacy Keach, Edward Norton, Donna Murphy. It has a bunch of good actors. Rachel Weisz has a bunch of top flight actors in this movie, and they try to basically connect this movie to the Bourne movies that starred Matt Damon, by showing scenes from the previous Bourne films and integrating them into this movie. And let me say, first of all, this movie is I think over 2 hours long. I think about 2 hours and 10 minutes or so. And this movie, they could have cut out the first, I believe, the first 35 minutes of this movie, because basically it opens up with him. They show him, I guess, in a training site, swimming and hunting and jumping and climbing mountains and all this stuff, and they wasted a good half hour, which they could have added to the movie, and they could have cut that part out. To me, they could have cut that whole part out. Okay. And another thing that disappointed me about this movie, I'm going to jump all over the place with this, but bear with me. The basic, plot of this movie is, the handlers of these special agents, they decided to wipe them out and cover up everything else. I think because the two people involved in the program, they see them on YouTube together on, they're having these meetings, and they said it's on YouTube. According to Edward Norton's character, they have to shut everything down in case anybody makes the connection between these two people, so they have to shut down, back away from everything and shut the program down, and basically kill all the operatives in the field. And of course, the guy, there's even a scene with Ed Norton talking to one of these generals that's in charge of all these undercover agents, and he's telling them how this is insane to be doing this, because we have these agents placed and everything else, and we can't, and how much intelligence they're gathering us. It's just crazy to shut them down. But Edward Norton is basically saying he knows, but we have to do this. We have to shut everything down and back everything up, because if this gets out, it's going to be chaos. Okay, and at the same time, according to this movie, I believe that the events of the last Bourne movie, with Matt Damon, Jason Bourne being in Manhattan and stuff. So they're trying to say that is happening at the same time that these agents are being, and they systematically show you these agents being, being fed, I guess you would call suicide tablets or whatever they're supposed to be, or new medicine. Okay, and they're, of course they're dropping left and right and dying, and of course they, when it comes time to kill Jeremy Renner's character, and him and another agent who he meets when he goes, I guess, to his training station. He survives, of course, because he's not in the cabin when it blows up. They send a drone missile that blows up the cabin where the other agent is. But of course, Jeremy Renner's character is not in there, and so he's, so he survives, and he's trying to find out, why they're killing him, and of course he needs more meds. So that's what he, so he makes his way back to civilization, after dodging another drone. Okay, where they show him wrestling, basically wrestling a wolf, luring a wolf into a trap and feeding it the tracking device that he has on him. And of course, they blow up the wolf, which they think is Jeremy Renner's character, and he makes his way back to civilization. And meanwhile, Rachel Weisz plays one of these scientists that I guess she's the one that, she checks the meds and diagnose, how the agents are reacting to the medicine and everything else. So, of course, during one sequence, as you see in the trailer, one of these scientists, I guess he gets programmed and he starts killing all the scientists in the office. And of course, Rachel Weisz's character, she just barely survives. Okay, before this guy kills himself, and of course they have to cover everything up. So she survives this, but it's a big news that all this killing going on. Why? Like I said, this is a CIA thing. Why they couldn't cover it up, even though they're supposed to be covering their asses? Why they even if she survived, they let just become a big news report. So it's a big deal that that this guy went nuts and killed everybody in the lab. So it's a news report. So they send supposedly psychiatrists to her house, after she's been interviewed with the police to try to gauge what she knows. Okay, and of course during this attempt they try to kill her. They're gonna basically frame her and see like she set her up and see like she committed suicide. But of course, Jeremy Renner's character comes and of course does a super spy thing and takes everybody out and escapes with her, and they're off on the run, trying to get his meds and everything else. And the thing that I didn't like about this movie is, like I said, they wasted I don't know if it was a half hour, maybe it was a half hour, 35 minutes, whatever it was, in the beginning of the movie, showing him in the woods and in the swimming and all that. And to me, that was wasted time. I don't know why they felt they needed to show that. I mean, they could have just showed him, I guess, at the cabin in the beginning of the movie, or even just being, do a little training thing and say, okay, he's one of these agents. You show him doing some badass moves or something, and then begin the plot. But they just wasted, like I said, a good half hour like that. And the second thing, like I said, they kept trying to tie it to the Jason Bourne movies without having Matt Damon in it, which is kind of silly to me. They're trying to make it more, I guess, because they wanted these series of movies, I guess this movie, to begin another trilogy of movies starring Jeremy Renner. And like I said, the story was just too overly complicated, to me, too overly complicated, and it took too long to get going. And then, of course, it abruptly ended, and I'll tell you exactly what I mean by this. While they're in Bangkok, and they're being chased, of course, and suppose Ed Norton says, oh, we're going to send this special agent, somebody that's even above the agents, the agents get trained, that they wiped out, somebody that's even off the scales, a real tough guy, right? It's supposed to be to take out Jeremy Renner's character, and of course, there's chases throughout the streets, of course, and they're on a motorcycle, they're chasing. This guy's leaping over buildings and stuff, and climbing and stuff, and you're thinking, like I think everybody else that was watching this movie is thinking, okay, they're gonna do this chase, and of course, and then at the end of it, they're gonna have a final hand-to-hand combat thing, which they never did. In fact, Jeremy Renner's character didn't even take him out. He wasn't the one that took this guy out. It was it's Aaron Cross wasn't the guy. It was Rachel Weisz's character, the scientist. She was the one that actually took him out, and which is really and you expected this big hand-to-hand fight with because you see you have this agent that's supposed to be above these agents, and you figured him and Jeremy Renner's character was gonna have one final hand-to-hand combat type of thing, which he would have had to overcome. But of course, no, they don't do that. Why? I don't know. And then the movie after that's over, and they make their way on a boat. Of course, they're healing and stuff from the motorcycle crash and everything. And then all of a sudden you see them sitting on the boat. He's looking at a map, and then the scientist comes. He's played by Rachel Weisz, and he's saying they're looking at the map, and he said, I don't think we're lost. And she said, I hope we're lost. And then they smile at each other. And then they start playing the end music credits, and it goes on. So basically, it just ends like that, just so abruptly. You go, what the hell? And I was sitting there going, what the hell? It's not, why did they end it like that? I mean, I know they want, they would hope this movie be successful so they can do another trilogy of movies starring, Jeremy Renner, Aaron Cross's character, but it just ended so abruptly, you thought there was supposed to be more. And I think, like I said before, that whole half hour in the beginning of the movie, they could have cut out. And they could have, and therefore they could have had more at the end, after the boat thing. They're on the boat and they're middle of the ocean sailing away to wherever. Because you were expecting some kind of confrontation. At least I was, or at least some point where he was going to go. Him and the scientists were going to go somewhere else and to I guess maybe try to at least expose. I know they're supposed to be trilogy movies, so they're supposed to leave it open-ended for another sequel, but it just seemed like that ending was too abrupt to me. It just ended so abruptly, which kind of disappointed me. Like I said, the movie it just wasn't written. And it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't the actors' fault, because I think all the actors in this movie were top-notch. Jeremy Renner, Scott Glenn, Stacey Keach, Edward Norton, there was Rachel Weisz. They were all good actors, but the script was just ridiculous to me. It was just that whole half, like I said, the whole half in the beginning of the movie could have been cut out, and it probably should have been cut out to make a more coherent movie. And the ending was just too abrupt, and it just disappointed me. And I don't think this movie, well, hopefully maybe that movie will do. I don't know how it's going to do overseas. I know it was #1 this last week, but I think The Expendables 2 is going to probably beat it at the box office this week. And so I don't know if they're going to make us sequels. But if they do make sequels to these movies, they really need to get the director, I forgot his name, that directed the second and third movie. They need to get him back, because these movies, at least the Matt Damon movies, they had a point. Like he had a goal in mind during the movies that he was working towards, and it was a purpose for this. But this movie, like I said, the first half, once the movie got going, it took this movie too long to get going. That's what my main problem with it, and that's the ending was too abrupt. Those are my main problems with it. Like I said, I don't have any problem with the actors' performances in it. I think the actors did the best they could with the script they had, but the script wasn't coherent and wasn't as good as the previous Bourne movie. So, like I said, I don't know if these movies are they're going to greenlight any sequels for this. Okay, which is a shame, because I think Jeremy Renner is a great actor. Loved him in The Hurt Locker. Loved him in The Avengers, and he was on this other TV show called The Unusuals, which was a great show that only lasted like a season, which is great. And Jeremy Renner is a believable action star and stuff. So that, and like I said before, you were waiting for this great confrontation scene, great fight scene between Jeremy Renner's Aaron Cross character and that special op the guy they sent after him. But there was no confrontation. He wasn't even the one that took this guy out. It was just basically Rachel Weisz's character, doctor character, basically literally stuck her foot out to trip him, and he crashed into a building support beam and died, and that was it. And it was, and like I said, and then it ended so abruptly, just really disappointed me. And like I said, I wouldn't recommend this movie for you to see it. I mean, if you want to see it because, like I say, you're a fan of the Bourne movies like I was, but it was disappointing. So maybe, well, it's been out a week, so maybe people have already seen it. So, but anybody that's thinking about seeing it, save your money and just go see The Expendables 2, and just wait for this movie to come out on video if you want, or Blu-ray, and just watch it then or rent it, because it really disappointed me, and I don't think they will be making sequels to this. I don't know how it'll do overseas and stuff, so maybe they'll make enough that they will make a sequel. But if they do, I hope they get like the writer-director who did the second and third Bourne movies to do the sequel to this one, so that way you get a better coherent plot and a better script. Okay, because you have the actors in place, you have great actors, but you just need a better, more coherent script. Okay, and this is Trey Paxton. Like I said, this review has spoilers in it, of course. And feel free to leave your comments down below. And this is Trey Paxton saying so long and take care.